Welcome to KQEG and Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, fitness. Today, the spotlight shifts from UW-La football to UW-La basketball. Head coach Ken Koelbl, Ryan Kruser, and next to me, Zach Shradle. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a special day to have a show. Guess what? We're celebrating a birthday on the set. Happy birthday, Coach Ken Koelbl.
Thanks, Terry.
Pretty special day for you.
Yeah, every day is a special day.
Pretty emotional day for you, too. By the way, we wish the best for your mom, too. I know she's having some health issues, so we hope that she recovers, and we'll be thinking about her. We want everyone to know that, but this is a big day for you because every day is certainly significant, but you're celebrating with two of your senior athletes.
Yeah, two really good athletes, and thankful that they are on our basketball team. They've done a great job up to this point, and I know they'll keep leading us in a great direction, but both have been very instrumental. Ryan for a few years now in his last year, and Zach just at La Crosse here for this 1 year, but boy, are we really pleased to have him here, and he's off to a great start in the early part of our season. So,
Zach Shradle, a 1 year wonder? A 1 year wonder. Now, for those who don't know, from Superior, I'm familiar with the Superior program.
Okay.
Refereed a lot of their games over the years. When he came in, he looked at me right away and thought, there's that referee. So that was not good. But coming from Superior, where, by the way, you had a tremendous amount of success.
Thank you, yeah.
And now down 3.5 hours to La Crosse.
Yeah, kind of split the difference between my hometown, but give a little credit to my coach up at Superior, Paul Eberhardt, for giving me a chance to play up there and develop into the player I am today. So,
well, but you started your developing in Clayton, Wisconsin. And when I think of Clayton, I think of the movie Hoosiers. Actually, when do you remember this movie? When?
Oh yeah.
When I've watched it about 12 times. When Hickory High beat Muncie Central 34-32, and Jimmy Chitwood made the winning shot, and somebody told me that you're like a Jimmy Chitwood of Clayton. Is that correct?
I don't know about that, but yeah, I never hit the game-winning shot to go to state or anything like that, but we had some successful teams, and my dad coached me growing up, so.
But you had more than just a little success. I mean, you were a three-sport athlete. You had tremendous, your resume is impressive to say the least, all the things you did. In every sport you played, you excelled in that little tiny city of Clayton. Talk about some defining moments there.
Grew up a three-sport athlete, like a lot of people do in small towns. I mean, you need all the numbers you can get in Clayton. I graduated with 26 kids, and yeah, football, basketball, baseball. Had a pretty good group of friends that kind of grew up the same age, and were able to play together throughout all three sports, and yeah, we were pretty successful as a group in all three sports, and it was a lot of fun. Reading your body language, it appears that was pretty special to you. You have some fond memories, and I'll bet you that your teammate sitting next to you, Ryan Kruser, who I know a little bit, from Wanakee, the home of the Decoras. Yep.
Friends of mine, Tim Decora, playing for Bull Ryan at Platteville.
Yeah, Will is actually a really good friend of mine, so I've gotten to know the Decoras pretty well growing up. I used to play football, basketball, baseball with Will growing up, so I know the Decoras really well. Great family, and yeah, it's been kind of like Zach talked about. Come from a little bit bigger town than graduating class of 26, but kind of had that same core group of friends that we all kind of had that same goal of succeeding in life and in sports, and kind of stuck together all the way through grade school up and through high school, and had some success, which was good to see. And we had got to give a lot of credit to all the coaches and everything, parents all the way up through too, for supporting and stuff like that. So,
well, Wanakee is famous for, legendary for tremendous athletes and tremendous facility. By the way, if you haven't went to Wanakee High School near Madison, it's so you had a great deal of success. Talk briefly about some defining moments in your high school career.
It's hard not to talk about the state championship appearances. my brother played on the team. He was on the 2010 state championship team, and that was their back-to-back. And then from there, my junior year, I was on varsity, and we won state that year. So yeah, that was a pretty fun year to kind of had a great group of seniors that year to kind of build off of, and then going into my senior year, definitely kind of had that same motive is to get back to the state championship, obviously, and thought we did a good job, but just couldn't finish it in that last game. So it's pretty disappointing, but it's still a pretty defining moment in my career is to be able to say that you got to the state championship, not once, but actually twice, and to win it once was pretty surreal feeling. And then as far as basketball, that's always kind of been my number one sport. I've always loved that, and just being able to represent Waunakee on the court and play with my friends that, like I said, growing up in grade school, and it's a pretty awesome feeling to be able to do that.
Yeah, well, certainly both of you exceptional student athletes in high school. Coach Ken Koelbl, a good friend of mine for years, back when you were playing for Onalaska Park and Rec before you entered the high school, and had tremendous success there, and at Viterbo Hall of Fame, 14th year. All of us, most of us followed him last year, of course. The first time you've won a conference title since 1965, Coach of the Year, accomplished a great deal. When you think back to that season, a building block for the future, but certainly a defining moment in your career at UWL.
Yeah, it was a fantastic year for us, and just in terms of the way we finished and winning the conference, no doubt about that. I think what really made it special is where we started and then where we ended. I was just looking at last year's early part of the season. We had some struggles. I think at one point we were maybe 3-5 in the early part of the season before kind of getting on track and getting on a little bit of a roll in our conference. So it was really neat to see a group of guys come together, get better, and collectively win a conference championship. So it was a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. It was great to have the buzz that we had in Mitchell Hall. Hopefully we can bring that back. Have our first home game this Saturday. We've been road warriors for the first 7, so we're excited to be back at home, and really looking forward to the opportunity to build on last year's season and see if we can do it again. Sure.
Now 5-2, and as you said, as we tape the show here, you are home Saturday against Loras, and then you're at Augustana before you head to Northland. So I hope that our viewers will take in those games because it's certainly well worth your time to see the UWL Eagles play basketball. But when you look at that 5-2 record, what are some positive things, and what are some things that maybe you are concerned about?
Well, I think the positive things right now is we got a pretty good group collectively, where we've had pretty good balance in terms of scoring, just playing time, and just contribution guys are making on our team, whether it's starters or guys coming off the bench. It's been a pretty well-rounded team in terms of the depth that we have. So that's exciting because you got different options on different nights from a scoring standpoint, from a defensive, rebounding. So we've got the flexibility to do some things. I think we played some pretty solid basketball. We've had some pretty good moments, even in a loss Saturday night to Hope, who's a really good team, and it was a great atmosphere. They got a fantastic facility. Thought we played really well. Just didn't finish down the stretch like we would have liked, but I think it definitely gave us something to build on. So there's things that we know we got to get better at, as every team does in the early part, but I think there's also a lot of good stuff that this team could be really good, and we just need to make sure we stay on the right track, stay focused, and keep moving in the right direction. And obviously these two guys are a big part of that. And you talked a little bit about them. It's kind of neat because they both have their own stories. Zach, sometimes a coach will maybe take a gamble on a one-year player, and you often wonder if that's going to work. And you can tell just listening to him, he's a pretty humble guy. And for a guy like himself to come in with 1 year, he's fit in pretty well with our team, very well received by his teammates and our coaches, and he just works hard. Ryan, interesting story. Obviously, he's played basketball for 3 years and then decided to play football this year. Had a fantastic football season. It was fun watching him out there, see him do the things that he can do. I know you had Coach Smith on last week, and I was just thinking about that, and I remember talking to Ryan after they played Platteville, how in the last 3 minutes of that game, the game was kind of in hand for Platteville, but Ryan kept trotting back out on the field, and I kept thinking to myself, Coach Schmidt, get him off the field. We need him for a basketball season. And I'm glad that he had the chance to play, but also made it through healthy and has done a nice job of transitioning to us as well.
We broadcast all of the UWL football games, and I would agree that what a tremendous asset to the football program, no question about it. Were you worried about perhaps an injury which would compromise basketball?
That's one. I mean, obviously, there's always that chance of getting hurt, but that's something I try not to. You know, if you think about it, then it might happen. So I, just try to keep that blocked out of my head and just go out and play, and just hope it didn't happen. And thankfully, like Coach said, it didn't get hurt at all throughout the year, and was able to successfully transition into basketball. So I was pretty happy to not get hurt out there.
Yeah. Well, and looking at the build of this guy next to me, Zach Shradle, you probably could have played football too.
Played football in high school.
You did, and you were exceptional.
Yeah, one of my favorite coaches growing up is my football coach, Chris Berghammer in high school. He's a big person in my life, and my quarterback Kyle Larson, who actually played at Stevens Point right now, he threw me the ball. So I mean, I got to give him some credit. But yeah, football. Probably my favorite sport in high school, I'd say, yeah. In
high school, but of course in college, it is a UWL Eagle. What a great asset to the program. Well, we're going to step aside for a minute. When we come back, more about UWL Eagle basketball right after this.
LASIK surgery at Mayo Clinic Health System.
Well, I was very nearsighted. I couldn't see 3 feet in front of me without things being blurry, so I had to wear glasses.
We screen patients. We try to make sure that they're appropriate candidates for LASIK, that their prescription is within the range, that it's reasonable to do it, that they have a good understanding of what they can expect, that they have a good understanding of what the benefits are and what the risks are.
For more information on LASIK surgery, contact Mayo Clinic Health System.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports again today. Eagle Basketball, a winning program in La Crosse, and a program that we're all proud of. Ken Koelbl, Ryan Kruser, Zach Shradle. Zach Shradle, we talked about in the first half of the show. What a tremendous gift to have you come to La Crosse. A special gift. Why La Crosse? I mean, after spending 3 seasons with the Yellow Jackets of Superior.
Yeah, it was a tough decision, not easy at all, but I actually have 2 years of school left to get done. I was living with a bunch of seniors up there, and they were all moving out. I talked to a few buddies. I have a bunch of friends down here and family. My parents are actually alums down here at La Crosse, so I mean, Superior left the WIAC 2 years ago. We competed in the UMAC last year, and WIAC is obviously known for being a really competitive league, and probably the main reason I wanted to get back into that competitiveness,
Anything to do with the head coach, too? That's building a tremendous culture and a great program?
Yeah, definitely. He had something to do with it. But
good job, Shred.
No, I made my decision to come here before anything happened at the end of the year last year, but obviously they had a really successful season, which I wanted to come down here and see if we could do it again.
Yeah. And guess what? If you wouldn't have come here, you'd never been on this show either.
That's true.
Coach, knowing you as a friend, family is a big part of who you are, too. I know your family. You know your wife. I know your kids. 2 of them, one played last year at Holman. Now you have another son playing this year. Quality athletes, and you have a gift to create balance in your life. Is that hard?
It is difficult. I've tried to do a better job of it probably the last half year of my coaching career. Probably wasn't great at it early on. Probably neglected a lot of things with my family early on. And I think I've taken more time to appreciate maybe the good things that I have. I think you get a little bit more nostalgic as you get older about enjoying where you live. La Crosse is a great area, great community. I'm excited to be here after 14 seasons, still very excited, obviously. But I've tried to balance a little bit more where I probably should be spending more time at work, maybe spending more time on the road recruiting. And I've just decided that, hey, I've got an opportunity to watch my kids play, and I want to take advantage of that as much as I can while I can. I'm thankful that I've got I've got a family that's involved in sports, which I love. So it's been a part of our life. I've got a son here at UW-La Crosse. I know he's really enjoyed it. Was on the football team this past season. Really enjoyed playing for Coach Schmidt and likes the direction. And I think you'll find that most of the players that are there with Schmidt right now are really enjoying that experience, and hopefully they can keep building on what they did this year. But yeah, it's always difficult when you talk about time demands. Everybody goes through it. We all got different jobs that we are involved in and different obligations, but I think it's important to try to balance them as much as you can, and not always easy.
Ryan Kruser, athletes, as you know, are on platforms. There's more expected of an athlete.
Yep.
There's more expected in terms of accountability, leadership. And you, as a part-time job at a place called the Boys and Girls Club, I'm pretty familiar with that.
Yeah.
You're a role model. You're a leader. How do you see yourself? Define your role. Define leadership. Define what it means to be a UWL athlete.
Like you talked about, just working at the Boys and Girls Club, I'll kind of start there. Just being a role model for the kids. You know, there's definitely kids in La Crosse area that may not have the best home life. So when they go home at night, I mean, they might not getting the support they need. And to be able to provide that for kids at the Boys and Girls Club, kind of giving them, like you said, that positive role model in their life. I mean, that's one thing that's important to me, is giving back to the community. You know, I'm thankful enough to be able to play sports here at college, and thankful enough to be able to go to school, and there's kids that are less fortunate to be able to give back to the community. I think that's a big part of leadership. And then kind of from the sports aspect, just being there for your teammates and kind of leading by example. You know, there's different types of leaders, but I kind of find myself as more of a lead by example type guy. But you know, that's just always being there, you know, and not being afraid to, you know, if somebody's not doing the right thing, to call them out for that and hold everybody to the highest standard. And that's how you build, you know, a winning championship or winning teams and win conference championships and eventually national championships.
Well, and Zach Shradle from Clayton, we talked about being a three-sport athlete, a team captain. This is what impresses me: highest honor roll, class salutatorian on a leadership group called SAC at Superior. You understand what it means to be an athlete. Define leadership for our viewers.
Well, my parents are both teachers, and they coached me growing up. Like I said, I come from a big family. My grandma has 8 kids. My dad's one of 7 brothers, and I have a lot of little cousins that kind of looked up to me growing up. So I mean, leadership to me, whether it's on the court or in the classroom, is just doing what you're supposed to do. I mean, if people are looking up to you, you want to be a good example to them. And on the basketball court, I try to always do the right thing, working hard. You know, if somebody's not in the right place, talk to them. Communication's a big thing with leadership. Other than that, yeah.
Well, let's move to the mental aspect of the game, where so many players falter. Coach Knight says the mental is the physical as 4 is to 1. Jay Billis talks about mental toughness, where people crumble. They don't understand being mentally tough. Talk about your mental toughness.
Yeah, I think mental toughness is huge. Being a 3-sport athlete, especially, and trying to balance sports with school is not easy to do at all. So it's like mental toughness. You gotta, like I said, balance these things together with sports and school. And yeah, mental toughness is a huge thing for leaders.
Mental toughness, certainly Ryan too, is shot selection. Mental toughness is being coachable and teachable. Mental toughness and toughness in general is taking charges, is giving up the ball, handling team drama, all those kinds of things. It happens at all levels. Yep. And you're a leader. You're expected to be tough mentally as well as physically. Explain how you do that.
You know, everybody's faced with adversity. You know, you kind of got two options. It's to either kind of crumble like you talk about or kind of step up to the challenge. And I mean, it's not always easy to step up to the challenge, but you know, you have to if you want to succeed. And when there's things on the team or shot selection like that, it's just you got to think about, you know, what's best for the team, and just make sure you're doing the right thing and not think about yourself and putting the team first.
Coach, you have built a championship culture. There's lots of cultures, poisonous cultures, selfish cultures. You are trying to build, and you are building, and it's evident, not just in your wins, but in the culture of UWL basketball. Explain to me what you see as a championship culture.
Well, I think the biggest thing, you're trying to create an environment that people enjoy being a part of. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do that, and there's a lot of things that contribute to it. Obviously, if you're winning basketball games, you're going to tend to have more individuals that are happy and excited to be a part of it, but I think there's a lot more than that. It's just trying to create an environment where guys respect one another. You got a group of guys that collectively do the right thing more often than not. Nobody's perfect, so we're all going to make mistakes. That's part of the growing process. That's part of college. But I think these two guys are so humble, they won't talk about themselves in terms of the things that they do. When you're talking about leaders and you're talking about mental toughness, these two are both leaders. These two are both mentally as tough as they get. And what they do time after time is just they do the right thing. And it sounds easy, but it's amazing how difficult it is nowadays for just to consistently show up, do the right thing, go to class, get your homework done, get in the weight room, do all the things that you need to do time after time after time. And these two do it all the time. And when you have people in an organization that are going to do that, you're going to have a pretty positive culture. So a big part of our culture is the guys that we have in it. Got a fantastic group of young men that we get a chance to work with.
Exactly. Rapid fire drill, 2-minute drill. You know the drill. 2-minute warning, 2-minute drill. Favorite college team?
Wisconsin Badgers.
Favorite college player?
Are we going present or past?
Present.
It's a tough question.
The clock's ticking. Did you say Bronson Koenig?
I'll go with Bronson.
Okay. Favorite NBA team?
Bucks.
Bucks. Philosophy of life.
Straight, you get the deep one.
Philosophy of life.
Live every day like it's your last. Don't take anything for granted.
Exactly. That's in the Bible. What would viewers be surprised to know about you, Zach?
Geez, I don't know. Just the fact of what I've come from, maybe not so much what I've accomplished, but what I want to do as a team. I don't know. Where
are you going to be in 10 years?
Hopefully coach in a Division I school.
What do you want the UWL Eagles to say about you when you leave?
I want them to hopefully say that I gave them the best I could and contributed to hopefully another conference championship.
Where are you going to be in 10 years, Ryan?
Hopefully working as a school psychologist.
Really? Good.
Yep.
And because academically you're a solid student too.
Yep.
No question about it.
Yep.
Well, good. Anything our viewers may be surprised to know about you?
Oh, it's a tough question. This is kind of something I've always wanted to do is go skydiving, and I've never gotten around to it. I've just been kind of thinking about it since high school and just haven't gotten around to it.
We'll schedule it for you.
We'll schedule it after.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So rapid, quick fire question for you, Coach. Fast forward to the end of the season. What are your goals? Where are you going to be?
Yeah, what I'd like to see happen is we win another conference championship, get in the NCAA tournament, and win some games in the NCAA tournament. I think that's kind of the next step for us in terms of what we want to do. We've been in the NCAA tournament once in my time here. Came up on the short end in that game, and I think we'd like to get in there and see if we can do some damage.
And we hope you will, because we'll be at a lot of those games. I'll be there, not officiating, so you don't have to worry about that. I'll be watching, and we wish you the best for the holiday season and for the 16-17 Eagles season. So thanks for being on the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We'll be back with some basketball highlights right after this.
LASIK surgery at Mayo Clinic Health System.
I can see. I don't have to wear my glasses for driving, to go to the movies, for reading.
And I think it's a wonderful thing to offer people that freedom and independence of lenses, whether they're contact lenses or glasses, to be able to function every day from the morning to the evening and not think about it.
For more information on LASIK surgery, contact Mayo Clinic Health System.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. I hope you enjoyed our interview today. The spotlight on UW-La Men's Basketball with head coach Ken Koelbl, along with Ryan Kruser and Zach Shradle. Well, our camera crew was in Holmen on Monday to cover a non-conference game. Rice Lake from the Big Rivers Conference versus the MBC Holmen Vikings and head coach Dwayne Veek. The Vikings continued a strong start to the season with a convincing performance in the Holmen Fieldhouse in front of 400 fans. Soon-to-be Hall of Fame coach Dwayne Veek mixed up his defenses to frustrate D1 recruit Ella Ellenson in the form of junior defensive standout Caitlin Young. The game was tied at 25 at halftime. Then Holmen took control in the second half and was led by two-time performer from the all-conference ranks, Brooklyn Paulson with 25 points and 6 assists. Junior teammate Kendra Lease added 12 and 8 rebounds, and senior Lindsay LeChucky filled in for senior starter Courtney Krisnovich and contributed 9 points, all on free throws, in the second half. Holmen moves to 4-0 and begins MVC play on Thursday against Logan. We were back in Holmen on Tuesday for another non-conference matchup, Eau Claire North, to play Steve Blank and the Holmen Vikings. Well, the Vikings started slow and were down 25-19 at intermission. The offense picked up in the second half with Austin Brond asserting his 6'4" frame in the paint. Football standouts Craig Newsom Jr. and Seth Wilson contributed from the perimeter, scoring 8 and 6 points respectively. But the Huskies would again outscore the Vikings in the second half and were led by Austin Weirden with 19 and Noah Hansen with 10. Final score, a 58-41 resounding win for the Eau Claire North Huskies. Holmen hosts Mauston on Tuesday, December 13th, before opening conference play entertaining Onalaska on Friday, December 16th. Well, that's it today from Seven Rivers Sports. Thanks for joining us. Hoping you have a exciting and active week ahead. I'm Terry Erickson. See you next week here on Seven Rivers Sports.